One of these Arizona towns gets snow in the winter. Another sits on a 45-mile lake with a real London bridge. All 15 are places retirees are quietly fleeing California for, because the same house that costs $850,000 back home sells for half that here, and Arizona never touches your Social Security. But every one of them hides a catch, the heat or the water, and getting it wrong costs you every single month. Number 1 erases that catch completely, and I will prove it by the end. Let's start at the bottom. Number 15, Yuma. This is the sunniest city on the entire planet. More days of clear blue sky than anywhere else on Earth has ever recorded. Sitting in the far southwest corner of the state, so close to California that people cross the line just to buy groceries. That location is the whole appeal, because a home here runs around $290,000, roughly a third of what the same place costs back over the border. Every winter, the population swells as tens of thousands of snowbirds roll in with their RVs to soak up the warmth, and a large Marine Corps air station keeps the local economy steady all year. So this is not a boom and bust bubble. It is a real working town that happens to be dirt cheap and drenched in sun, with Yuma Regional Medical Center right in town and San Diego about 2.5 hours west. The catch is exactly what you would guess. The heat is relentless, over 100 days a year above 100 degrees, and this is quiet farm country, the winter lettuce capital of America, not a glamorous resort. In the peak winter months, the population can nearly double as retirees flee the northern cold, which tells you how many people have already voted with their feet. But if your first goal is simply escaping California prices without giving up the sun, Yuma is the doorway. The next town keeps you just as close to home and hands you a lake to park your boat on. Number 14, Lake Havasu City. Yes, this is the one with the London Bridge. A businessman bought the actual bridge from the City of London in 1968 and shipped it across an ocean and a continent to rebuild it here, stone by numbered stone right over the water. Today, it is the second most visited attraction in all of Arizona, behind only the Grand Canyon, and the city wraps around a 45-mile lake that stays deep blue all year long. The place is packed with Californians who came for a boating weekend and simply never drove home. Central homes near the bridge start in the mid-200s, though the median has climbed to around $500,000. Havasu Regional Medical Center covers you right in town. The catch is the summer. This is one of the hottest places in America, regularly hitting 115 to 120 degrees, and the whole tourist town half empties from June through September. But you live on the water, you keep the boat in it every month of the year, and for a Southern California boater, this is the exact lake culture they already love at a third of the coastal price. The lake draws boaters and spring crowds from across the Southwest, and the marinas stay busy right through the milder months. But the next town does something Havasu never can. It cools off. Number 13, Kingman. Up on Old Route 66, Kingman sits more than 3,300 feet above sea level, a full 1,000 feet higher than the river towns, and you feel it the second you step out of the car. The summers are still warm, but noticeably milder. The nights actually cool down, and homes run around $330,000. It sits right on Interstate 40, a straight shot east from California, which is exactly how so many transplants stumbled onto it in the first place. Kingman Regional Medical Center is the anchor hospital, and you are almost exactly halfway between Phoenix and Las Vegas. This is also the longest surviving stretch of the original Route 66, so the whole town leans into that classic American road trip charm. The catch is depth. This is a working railroad and highway town, not a resort, so for serious specialists, you are driving. The wind out on these high plains can absolutely howl, and the nearest full airport is over an hour away. But for a retiree who wants cheap, central, and a few degrees cooler than the desert floor, Kingman quietly delivers. Now we head into central Arizona, where the catch stops being the heat and turns into something that can freeze an entire city overnight. Number 12. Casa Grande. Sitting almost exactly halfway between Phoenix and Tucson, Casa Grande has become a magnet for buyers who want both cities in reach without paying either city's price. Homes here run around $350,000. Big new subdivisions keep going up. A giant electric car plant just opened nearby, bringing real jobs. And Banner Casa Grande Medical Center handles your care right in town. But here is where the second catch arrives, and it is bigger than heat. Water. Casa Grande sits in Pinal County, where the state ran the numbers and found the groundwater simply will not stretch to cover everything that was planned, and new home approvals have been capped since 2021. That does not touch a finished home you buy today, but it tells you the growth story here has a hard ceiling, and it should shape every dollar you are willing to pay. Buy the completed house, never the empty promise down the road. The next town is where that warning turned into a wall. Number 11. Maricopa. For years, one single road was the only way in or out of this entire city. A bad accident on it could trap 40,000 people for hours. That is how new Maricopa is. A little over a decade ago, this was open desert, and today it is a full city of fresh rooftops south of Phoenix, with brand new construction often around $380,000. For a California family cashing out a cramped bungalow that buys a house twice the size with a real yard. But it sits in the same Pinal County groundwater zone, so the same building limits hang over its future, and healthcare is still thin for a place this size, so anything major means a drive back toward Phoenix. Maricopa is a bet on a place that is still in the middle of becoming a place. But if that uncertainty makes you uneasy, wait until you see the town where the state of Arizona itself said stop. Number 10. Buckeye. For several years straight, this was the single fastest growing city in America, sprawling across the far western edge of the Phoenix Valley and selling brand new homes around $400,000 as fast as crews could frame them. There are plans out here for one of the largest master planned communities in the entire country, 100,000 homes on open desert, and then the state pulled the plug. In 2023, Arizona announced there was not enough guaranteed groundwater to build all of it, and it effectively froze roughly 100,000 of those planned homes overnight. Officials are now scrambling to pipe in alternative water, and they may well solve it. But you are buying into an open question on the far edge of the metro in serious low desert heat. So do your homework here. Ask the builder in writing exactly where the water comes from and whether the community has a 100-year assured supply, because in Buckeye, that single sheet of paper is the difference between a safe buy and a gamble. Now we leave the sprawl behind for the towns built to do one thing: retirement, better than almost anywhere in America. If your California math is already looking friendlier than it did back home, tap that like button. It genuinely helps more retirees find this list, and everything from here up is where it gets good. Number 9, Green Valley. If you want young energy, nightlife, and noise, skip this one right now. But if you want the best pure retirement value in Arizona, stay with me. 25 minutes south of Tucson, Green Valley was designed from the bare ground up for people exactly like you. Sitting a little higher than Phoenix among old pecan groves, with the Santa Rita Mountains standing over it. So the summers run a few degrees kinder. Pecan orchards stretch for miles along the edge of town, and the desert light out here at sunset is the kind people frame. The value is honestly stunning, with plenty of homes around $320,000, and you get golf, pools, hobby clubs, and an entire town running on the calm rhythm of retired life, with Tucson and its full hospital network a straight half-hour up the interstate. The catch is the flip side of that design. The median age here is well past 60, so if you crave a young crowd, you will not find it. And the biggest medical care still means that drive into Tucson. But for affordable, purpose-built retirement, very few places on earth can match it. The next town is the original that started this entire idea 50 years ago. Number 8, Sun City West. This is where the modern American retirement town was born. Northwest of Phoenix, Sun City West is a true active adult community with multiple recreation centers, 7 golf courses, and a club for nearly every hobby you have ever thought about trying, and the prices stay remarkable, with many homes around $350,000. Banner Del E. Webb Medical Center sits right inside the community, a full hospital built specifically for this population, so your care is never far away. There are pickleball courts, softball leagues, art studios, and pools scattered across the community, and most of it is walkable or a short golf cart ride from your door. The catch is honest. It is age-restricted, so no one under 55 lives there full-time. Some of the styling feels frozen in an earlier decade, and the summer heat is pure unshaded low desert. But dollar for dollar, the sheer volume of amenities you get here is almost impossible to match anywhere in the country, and for a couple leaving a cramped California condo, this is the version of retirement that finally feels abundant instead of tight. The next town keeps every one of those perks and throws the gates back open to families. Number 7, Surprise. What Surprise gets right is balance. It blends the retirement world of the Sun City Grand Community with real neighborhoods full of working families, so the town actually breathes and feels alive instead of hushed. Spring training baseball fills the ballpark every February. Homes run around $440,000, and the hospitals, shopping, and restaurants have finally caught up to the booming population. 2 major league teams hold spring training right in town, so February here feels like a month-long festival. The catch is heat and sprawl. You are on the far west side of the valley, so the summer sun is unfiltered, and the traffic and constant construction that come with fast growth are very real. But for a retiree who wants life happening all around them, grandkids and ball games, and not just golf carts, few places balance it better. And remember, we still have not reached the town that takes the heat off the table entirely. That is waiting at number 1. The next town does all of this with a lake sitting right on its doorstep. Number 6, Peoria. Picture a boat ramp on a huge blue desert lake 15 minutes from your front door. That is Peoria, and it has quietly become one of the most complete towns in the whole Phoenix Valley. Lake Pleasant sits on its northern edge for boating and fishing. The neighborhoods are established and shaded rather than raw and new. A lively entertainment district anchors the middle of town, and the healthcare here is genuinely strong. Homes run around $480,000. 2 more major league teams train here every spring, and the lake and the ballparks together give the town a real sense of occasion. It hands you real city services without the end-of-the-road feeling of Buckeye or Surprise. The catch, once again, is the low desert heat and the traffic of a place everyone has now discovered. If this is the honest retirement research you have been searching for, the real prices, and the exact catch nobody puts in the glossy brochure, then subscribe and stay with me, because the top 5 leave the desert floor behind entirely, and they include Arizona wine country, red rock cliffs that glow at sunrise, a town 20 minutes from a Mayo Clinic, and a number 1 where it truly snows. Now we finally climb out of the heat for good. Number 5, Oro Valley. The moment you reach Oro Valley, the temperature drops and the mountains take over your windows. It sits on the north edge of Tucson, tucked right against the towering Catalina Range, high enough that the worst of the heat softens, and it is the upscale, polished end of Tucson living, with a growing base of science and biotech jobs and miles of hiking and biking trails. The Catalina foothills right behind town turn gold at sunset, and trailheads sit at the end of ordinary neighborhood streets. Excellent healthcare sits right in town at Northwest Medical Center Oro Valley, and homes run around $520,000. It is safe, it is beautiful, and it is built for people who want an active outdoors retirement. The catch is simple. You pay for all of it, so this is not the bargain Green Valley is, and the Tucson airport is about 40 minutes away. But this is the town for the Californian who refuses to give up good hiking, good hospitals, and good coffee just because they left the coast behind. And the next town climbs even higher into a corner of Arizona most people never knew existed. Number 4, Cottonwood. Almost nobody pictures wine country when they think of Arizona. But up in the Verde Valley at around 3,300 feet, that is exactly what Cottonwood is. The summers are mild, the winters are gentle, and the town sits in the heart of a real and growing wine region with a charming restored old town main street and red rock views waiting on the horizon. Tasting rooms line the historic street, and ancient hilltop ruins sit just outside town for anyone who loves a little history. Best of all, it sits right next door to Sedona for a fraction of the price, with homes around $450,000, and Verde Valley Medical Center is right in town, so you are not trading your health for the better weather. The catch is depth of care and size. For major specialists, you are driving up to Flagstaff or down to Phoenix, and this is a small town, not a city. But retirees who want the Sedona lifestyle without the Sedona price tag quietly end up here, and almost none of them regret it. Remember, the number 1 town still takes the single biggest Arizona catch off the table completely. The next town is the one those famous red rocks actually belong to. Number 3, Sedona. There may be no more beautiful place to wake up in all of America. Sedona sits at around 4,300 feet, ringed by enormous red sandstone cliffs that catch fire with color at sunrise, with Oak Creek running through it. 4 genuinely mild seasons, and an arts and wellness culture unlike anywhere else on the continent. People drive hours just to hike the red rock trails and stand at the overlooks, and you would be waking up to that view every single morning. But this is the town you fall in love with first and try to budget for second. Homes here commonly run past $850,000, right back up at California prices. The tourist traffic is heavy and constant, and the hospital in town is small, so anything serious means a drive up to Flagstaff. Sedona is the postcard dream if the dream happens to fit your budget, and that is exactly the problem the next town was built to solve. Beauty, almost this staggering, but with a world-famous hospital sitting 20 minutes away. Number 2, Fountain Hills. Right in the center of this town, a fountain erupts from a lake taller than the Washington Monument, framed by mountains on every side, and it has been the town's signature for 50 years. Just east of Scottsdale, Fountain Hills is scenic, quiet, exceptionally safe, and genuinely upscale, with homes around $650,000, noticeably less than paying for the Scottsdale name right next door. And here is the real payoff. The Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale, ranked among the very finest hospitals in the entire country, is about 20 minutes down the road. That is stunning scenery and top-tier medicine sharing the same corner of the map. The catch is the heat and the price, because you are back down on the desert floor and paying a clear premium. But for a retiree whose top priority is being minutes from elite care, nothing else on this list comes close, which brings us to number 1, the town that takes Arizona's single biggest catch, the heat, and erases it completely. Number 1, Prescott. Remember the fear I promised to erase. This is it. Prescott sits at 5,300 feet, a full mile above the desert, and that elevation buys you roughly 20 degrees of relief from the valley below. It has 4 real seasons. It gets actual snow from late fall into early spring in Arizona. This is the mountain town Californians have been quietly retiring to for 40 years, built around a historic downtown and the old saloons of Whiskey Row, ringed by pine forests, granite boulder fields, and lakes you can walk to with a genuine sense of place the brand new desert suburbs simply cannot fake. And it is far more than pretty. 3 hospitals serve the area: Yavapai Regional Medical Center, a Veterans Affairs Medical Center, and Dignity Health, so serious care is covered right at home. Homes run around $650,000, and for a Californian, selling an $850,000 house, that is a full cash out with money left in the bank. The catch is genuinely mild. Prices are climbing because the secret is out. There is real wildfire risk in the surrounding national forest, and the Phoenix airport is about 90 minutes away. but there is no groundwater. Freeze, no brutal summer, and no 2-hour drive to a hospital. Cool seasons, real beauty, full health care, and true character, with the smallest catch on this entire list. If you only test drive one town from this whole video, make it this one. And make the drive up in January so you can see the snow sitting on the pines with your own eyes. That is why Prescott is #1. So that is the list. One quick truth before you pack a box. Arizona never taxes your Social Security. The income tax is a flat 2.5%, and property taxes are low, but the low desert heat is the one thing no listing will warn you about. So visit in July before you sign anything, and if the one thing you cannot stand is the heat, watch my video on the Florida towns you can retire in even if you hate it. And if the desert feels too dry and you want green, water, and low insurance instead, go watch the one on the South Carolina towns Florida retirees are fleeing to right now. That is your natural next move, and I will see you there.